what I was when I was hired, how I came to do human resources, and the comments that have been made because of the money I'm making versus the money that I made when I started. And then my son, as most everybody knows, works for the city. And when he was hired, I had nothing to do with his hiring. It's clear in his personnel file that there was nothing that I had to do with any of his transfers, any of his promotions, or anything like that. I think it's clear. But when it's questioned as far as why he's gotten the job that he's gotten and things like that, it has to do with hard work. And I have tried to remove myself whenever any decision or discussion comes up regarding him. And I guess it's just important that you all know that, because it's important to me that I stand up here and say that I don't feel that my integrity or my son's integrity should be questioned.
Thank you. Any other comments on that item? Okay. No other comments? We're going to move to item 9.
I'm obviously what everyone's talking about.
State your name.
Mike Palmer.
Thank you.
And this was kind of thrown on me. I thought it was just rumors. I read it on Mike's blog. I guess I would just ask why my personnel file was pulled. That's just a question. And you guys have all the reason in the world to tell me. You can say it from everyone. Thank you.
Okay. Any response?
I didn't ask for it.
I don't know. I haven't been paying either.
Who asked for it?
I didn't ask for any personnel file.
Did you ask for any personnel information?
I asked for how the job was created, and you give me a perfectly good answer. I got it. I never said another word. I'm fine. That's just the way it was. I got the information. Your old history was on there. It was good. And I was trying to put the same thing to bed that you're worried about. Because it bothered me to hear that stuff too. And I just asked Gary how it was, and he explained it to me. It was just straight up. And nothing more was said about it. I never seen a piece of paper. You sent me an email or a letter or something and explained it, and that was all I asked for, and I got it, and that was fine. But I never asked for a personnel file. I really didn't.
Okay.
I don't want one.
No.
Okay. Anybody else wish to speak? It's getting a broader category here, but we will move to item 9 if nobody else has any more comments on that. We're going to move to item 9 then. Reconsideration of continuing with the agreement with the State of Nebraska Department of Roads regarding Sidney Deadwood Trail interchange path, and if the agreement is discontinued, authorization to return the funds received to date from the State of Nebraska. Any discussion?
Well, this is a result of the mayor's request at the last meeting to bring about some additional discussion on whether the city wants to continue forward with it. Obviously, the 9th time that we've amended the original contract from 2005, that project's going forward. The last amendment went forward on a 3-2 vote. Mayor being one of the people in favor of it, still continue to go forward because of the work that's been done up to this point, and then having some reservations about because of some of the additional federal oversight regulations that we now fall under as a result of some of the delays that we've had, and they've changed the federal rules, and it's very, very complicated. We're fortunate to have a person in John Hinkey that has went through all the training that you now have to have a responsible person in charge on all projects with federal and state funding. That's very intense training, a lot of hours. That did it, and he did it on top of all his job responsibilities. That's a real tribute to John. But it's very time consuming. And there's additional engineering oversight as well. For those various reasons, the mayor had some reservations and he wanted to have it discussed again. And that occurred at the last meeting. We were directed to maybe ask some questions. There was some talk about a possible alternate route that had been looked at once before. The state came back with an answer, was provided in an email to John on some questions he asked, and I think it's very pointed in the response from the state consultant that is hired by the Department of Roads to oversee every trail project in the state, that no more, Sidney. There will be no more delays, there will be no more alterations. If you want your $500,000 grant, you will go forward, and you cannot have any more time elapse. So that's basically, we have to, with the route, the last one that was approved, and the partnerships that we have in place on that, even though they're not formalized, they're verbalized, and we have to have formalized once we get the official paperwork, we get to that point. Engineer's done his work up to this point without going through the final phase yet. And so we're kind of at that crossroads. We got to make a decision, because you're either going to pull the plug on it and the project's no more. If you decide somewhere down the future to do some kind of alternate route, you know, that's through different funding sources, it's the city's prerogative. But that doesn't have to be decided tonight or anything. But we do need some kind of direction that we just simply cannot meet the compliance regulations if we have any more delays. And you can't blame the state. I mean, they've went by far the extra mile with this. I don't think they probably ever had a project carry on for 5 years and had a city ask for so many different delays and alterations. So, you know, they've been very good to understand some of the issues we were dealing with, but I don't blame them a bit for drawing the line in the sand. And so it's our decision now, and obviously it has additional costs from what we additionally planned. Cabela's graciously had stepped forward, and through a new creative tool that we're allowed to use in employment enhancement zones to have an occupation tax. They provided that on their retail store. It's accumulating some funds, and it's to be used for public infrastructure that would enhance that employment zone. And the intent was to, if they build a trail throughout their campus area out there, that we would bring the trail up to meet with that, and you basically connect the interstate community with the community at large through this connection of the existing trail. The college also has a grant that's pending that they've done some work on already, and their grant is dependent on our continuation of our project as well. So that brought us up.
How much is that, Gary, that grant, you know?
I think it's $5,000 for the college, wasn't it? For their outdoor classroom.
Their grant was.
Yeah, it was for an outdoor classroom, and I don't know the
I
exact.
think it was somewhere around 12 to 15,000,
But
and it was for their landscaping and
Right.
outdoor theater.
and
Nothing that we could use towards the path.
No.
we can't, if we just wanted to do that extent of the trail, we still have to follow.
If we use the federal funds.
Yeah, and they'd still have to give us permission to just do that amount of the trail. But, and we looked at the cost if we just did that on the city level, and it was what the engineer thought, 65, 70,000.
60, yeah, around 61 and change.
Yeah, bring it to the edge of their property. So.
Okay, I guess I brought it back up, so I'll start with the discussion. And my biggest issue was winding it around over by the Link Road and then ending north of Comfort Inn, kind of leaves it in limbo to me. Now, it's in hopes of building it across a different route, could be worked out. But after the discussion tonight, I don't think that should be looked at anymore. I think we should just go ahead with that route and stay with that route. But I'd also like to get a firm dollar figure for what the city's input is going to be. Is it 160?
171,000, I think is what we originally had
Yeah.
bid, or had budgeted. 170